Hello and welcome to Miko. My name's Chris Michael. I'm the founder and managing director of Miko. For the past 22 years or so, all we've pretty much done here is dehumidifiers, and that's what we know lots about. We try and share our knowledge with you via the website, via the blog, via videos like these, and lots of you come back to us and say it is all very useful. Now you send us lots of emails on a daily basis asking us questions about dehumidifiers. Well, that's not really surprising because we know that the majority of you are buying your first ever dehumidifier, and we realise it can be a bit daunting. So we love to receive your emails and we answer each one as fully as we possibly can, and I thought it'd be useful to take some of those emails and put together video answers for them. Not surprisingly, often you're asking exactly the same questions as each other, so therefore by listening to these videos, watching them, you might find the answer to the question that you've been thinking about. On to our first email. This one's from Tony. Tony has been building a drying cupboard to help dry his laundry. Now it's only small, it's about 1 metre by 0.75 metres by 2.1, says Tony. And he's having problems because he's getting a build-up of mould within the cupboard. He's tried putting an electric heater in there, but that hasn't worked and he's still getting a lot of condensation. He's thinking about putting a dehumidifier into the cupboard, and he's looking at the DD8L. Now the DD8L is very good at drying laundry, but any dehumidifier, doesn't matter which model it is, if you put it into a small space like that, what's going to happen is it's going to heat the space up quite quickly because of the small dimensions, and then the dehumidifier is going to cut off because by heating the space up you're reducing the relative humidity. So the dehumidifier is going to say job done, but that moisture is still going to be there within the air, so you're still going to potentially have problems. I would either abandon the idea of the drying room and dry the washing in a larger room like a bathroom or a kitchen with a dehumidifier, or I'd put some ventilation into the drying room, sorry. Ventilation always is very important within your bathroom, but within this drying room, Tony, in order to get some air exchange, either with the house or if it's on an outside wall with outside. And then you could concentrate on dehumidifying a larger space, maybe put the dehumidifier on the landing or on the hallway, leave the drying room door ajar if you like, just to see if that helps, and then the dehumidifier is drying a larger space and it will draw that moisture out of the clothes. Once the bulk of the moisture has gone from the clothes, then you might find it more useful to leave the washing there in the drying room. If you want a fuller answer, Tony, because that's quite a complicated one, by all means give us a call on 01483 234 900 and we'll be happy to help. Right, what have we got here? Elizabeth and Richard. Right, yes, they've got a small 3-bedroom house. They've got condensation damp problem, but only in the lounge diner room. The room's quite dark, doesn't get much sunlight, not even during the summer. Oil-fired central heating. Mainly the problem is around the French doors. Where should they put the dehumidifier in the lounge? The rest of the house is okay. And that's quite key, because you say the rest of the house is okay, then we can concentrate on the lounge. Normally we'd say put the dehumidifier in the hallway or on the landing, keep all of the internal doors open, and then the air will circulate around the house and the dehumidifier will dry the whole house. But you're only interested in the lounge. Therefore I think noise is very important, because when you're sitting down watching TV, reading a book, you don't want a rumbling noise, too much interference coming from the dehumidifier. You don't want it to be a distraction. So I would definitely use the DD8L for this, because on its low fan speed you wouldn't even be able to tell that it's running. It doesn't really matter where you put it in the lounge, because the dehumidifier has got plenty of capacity to keep the whole of the lounge dry. So put it somewhere that's convenient for you, and it will sort out your problem that you got there on your French doors. Hope that helps. Thank you, Elizabeth and Richard. Next up we've got Wendy. It says here, email sent by bat phone. Excellent. Right, Wendy, you've had some bad luck before in the past with the dehumidifiers that you've bought, because you say you've had refrigerant dehumidifiers before, and when you put them for storage within the garage over the summer months, you found that they've rusted up. You've also had some problems with leaking, and so your confidence has been rather knocked in dehumidifiers, and that sounds fair enough. So you're interested in the DD8L, so you're wondering about that rusting, what maintenance is needed. That's a good one, that often comes up, and can you just leave it on 24/7 or just turn it on when needed. Rusting. I've never heard of one of our dehumidifiers ever rusting up. I can honestly say, hand on heart, that's not an issue that has come up before in the past. So it sounds like you've been quite unlucky there. I don't know which brand you've been using, but it does sound like you've been unlucky. The DD8L, it doesn't really have many parts inside it that could rust, to be honest. It's mostly made of plastic inside there, stainless steel. I can't actually think of any part that is likely to rust, so I'll be quite comfortable with that going into storage. What maintenance is needed? Good question, that often comes up. Keep the filter clean. That's all you've got to do with a dehumidifier, is keep that filter clean. When you go past it with the hoover, just take the nozzle and run it over the filter. Even if it doesn't look too dirty, still just give it a quick go. It's only going to take you 30 seconds and will add years to the life of your dehumidifier. Is the appliance, yep, can I just turn it on when needed rather than being left on 24/7? My personal recommendation is leave that dehumidifier on 24/7. It's got a humidistat on it, which is like a thermostat for your radiator, which controls when the dehumidifier turns off, turns on, and how much electricity it uses. So it's only going to turn on when absolutely necessary, and that's what you want it to do. Keep the relative humidity down, deal with that damp and excess moisture. So if you leave it on 24/7, you're giving it a chance to do that. If you turn it off, then of course the organic things within your house, which is a posh way of saying your doors, your floors, your cushions, your upholsteries, any levers, anything that can breathe moisture in and out, is going to absorb that moisture, and the dehumidifier is not going to get a chance to do what you want it to do and what you're buying it for. So my advice is leave it 24/7. Things like the DD8L have got our unique Mico control logic, which saves a huge amount of electricity against machines that don't have that, and it will keep your bill down, but it will make your dehumidification as efficient as possible. So that would be my advice. Thanks for your email via your bat phone, Wendy, and please keep your emails coming on. And as you can see, I've got plenty to go through, so we'll do more of these videos so that you can dip in and out and try and find answers to the things that you might be wondering about. Thank you for listening.